Are we gonna do our like usual intro, Maggie?
I thought we could, and then we could do a little twist on it.
Okay.
So,
Oh my.
okay. So, hello, listeners. Welcome back. I'm Maggie,
And I'm Maddie.
and this is a special edition of
Ambition Unpacked.
which we are calling A Cup of Unpacked because it is a crossover episode. We have some special guests with us today. I'll let them introduce themselves, but we have three guests with us today. So why don't we just go right down the line as I see it on my computer? Hanny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Oh wait, why am I the first one to go? Well, I'm Hanny. I'm one half of A Cup of Ambition. Nice to be on here.
Yes, I said that in my head. I want this to feel like kind of two different ways combined. One way is I want people to feel like it's like they're watching a YouTube video of like when Vanity Fair does those interviews where they're like around a table and it's like dark and it's all dramatic combined with like the when you eat the hot sauce videos or whatever combined with the vibe of we're all sitting in my living room like eating baked goods and having a sleepover. So that's the energy I
The
want
dream.
this to have.
Oh, I love that.
And if you are listening, you are also sitting in my metaphorical living room having baked goods and listening. So, next up, Emma, take it away.
I'm Emma, and I'm the other half of A Cup of Ambition. Hello. What type of baked goods did you make?
Well,
I want to
did
know what I'm
today-
eating. this
I did
metaphor.
today with my mother make beignets. It
Mm.
took like 3 hours, 4 hours
Oh.
total.
No.
I was covered in powdered sugar before I changed into this sweatshirt that I'm wearing. But I also enjoy making a brownie and a cookie, so we can have brownies and cookies as well.
Yay.
This is like the life, man. Okay. Thank you.
And last but not least, our special guest who has yet to be on either A Cup of Ambition or Ambition Unpacked, Miss Ellie.
Hello, I'm Ellie. I am Maddie's sister. That's my relevance here, maybe.
That's not your relevance here. Your relevance here is being
An ambition
great
warrior. Yeah.
An
ambition
ambition
warrior.
warrior, exactly.
Period.
So true. So yes, that's our team today. We got a nice little round table of 5, and what we're kind of going to do is the reason that this is even existing at this moment is because if you're following Ambition, as you know, season 4 has been postponed a little bit for the post schedule, so we thought, what's a fun thing we could do to still drop on that post day? And this is it. We're going to have a conversation about season 4 and some questions that you guys sent in and that I have prepared, a mix of ones that they know about and ones that I have withheld, so they have to answer it on the spot. So
Evil.
it's gonna be really fun, and I am kind of, there are some questions that were sent for me and I will answer them, but I'm also kind of acting a little bit more as the moderator in a sense, because obviously I know information that everybody else does not know, so I want this to be a little more of a what we know now and just discussing it, because I think that is one of the sad but also beautiful things about Ambition, with it being such a tiny little fandom where if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't, is we don't get to necessarily have conversations on a big a scale as a big fandom does, where you can just go to any social media and there's a million conversations happening. So this is kind of our little spiritual version of that, where as they all talk, you guys can imagine you're there too, and you guys sent some questions, so it is like you're here, and we'll just get to talk about it and have fun for an hour or so. So are you ready? Are we ready?
I'm
So
ready. Are you ready?
You know I'm ready, girl. I'm
Are
always
the
ready.
listeners ready?
They better be.
Because we ain't waiting. We're kicking into it. All right.
Exactly.
So let's just jump right in then. So we're talking, our first little subject here is about Ambition Season 4, which has started. We have had our premiere episode, which was in 2 parts because it was so damn long. So there's that piece of it. And we also, of course, had the summer special, which we do count as Season 4. which was now 3 months ago, about. So a lot of content has already been released. It's just there's much more to come. So I guess the first kind of question for you all is, how has that experience been? What were your first impressions now that we've soaked in it for a month and some change? What are we thinking? What are we feeling?
Sadness, pain.
Sadness too.
I'm having a ball. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry to everyone else, but
Y'all can leave if you're not having
I
fun.
mean, I'm having fun, but I just mean that, the experience of most of the content that has been supplied for season 4 is like, this person is sad and this person is also sad, and then this person is also having a crisis, and this person is also like having a crisis, and that person is also kind of sad, and no,
And
things
is
aren't quite
that
going
not
your way.
is that not college in a nutshell?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's definitely the mood. It's definitely accurate, but I'm also like, I only support tragedy when it's about romance.
Well, you got plenty of that too. So
I feel
Ayo.
like it is sad, but it's like there's hopefulness, there's like opportunity and potential. So it's not upsetting. It's like, okay, we're gonna work through this, and let's jump into it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
For real.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I thought it was sad, but only because I was, we see them from seasons 1 to 3, and they're all together, and on season 4, people are like, going to different things, and I was like, I felt bad for Riley, because obviously she wants to keep her friends together, and everybody's doing their own thing and canceling. I was like, no, y'all cannot do this to me right now. I am emotionally unstable. Oh my god, I can't. It was like seeing my children grow up. I couldn't. I can't.
it does feel that way. It feels that way for me, so I'm sure it feels that way for you guys as well.
I'm excited to have them out of the house.
You're like empty
no, I'm just
nesting.
kidding. No, I'm excited. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously it's quite, there's sad things, but I'm like so excited for this season. I feel like there's so many things that's like exactly perfect for me. So I'm having fun. Yeah.
Do you care to share what are some of the things that are a perfect experience for Emma?
I think that is personal information. No, just kidding. I have been waiting since episode 1 for Josh to show up. So that was like, when I found out, I was just like, yeah. Every time Maggie reminded me, I was like, oh my gosh, like the world is just right again. Like I hear birds singing outside and stuff. That's like the the biggest thing, honestly. But it's exciting to see, I don't know, just how they all interact in like a different space to me. And the newfound freedom, but also I think, if you have gone off on your own in or just forayed into young adulthood, that it's like you have freedom, but you also feel like very trapped in some ways. So I think that's like a fun thing to explore. Really exciting and fun, and balloons everywhere, but
Yeah, I like that. That's true. I feel like we used to always ask about Josh. Like when season 1 started, we would like be messaging you, Maggie, and we'd be like, where's Josh? And you'd be like, just wait, there's a plan, you'll see him eventually. And now that day is here, it feels like quite surreal.
Yeah, we've been kind of burning this one for a long time, but he has been like, it's been fun because much like a lot of the things we do in Ambition, like we planted him very early on with like a mention in like one episode, and then next season he'd get another mention. So he was kind of like, we knew he existed out there in the world, but it was always a question of like, are we ever actually going to see him?
Yeah, it's pretty important as well because he's the only character that's like new
Mm-hmm.
but is also a main.
Yeah, it's true. Because, I mean, Vanessa is kind of like sort of similar, but as we know, we saw her last season, and also she was in one episode in season 2, so she's been a little bit more around already. Whereas Josh, not only is he like brand new, we're seeing him for the first time this season, but also I feel like he just is. When I write him, I think of him this way, where he's like the rest of the mains, but he's also not because he's a little
Mm-hmm.
bit older and like a little bit
Mm-hmm.
in a different part of his life. Whereas like, but he's also not like Eric and Jack main level where he's like an
Mm-hmm.
old man, you know? Like, so he's like in this very
Hello?
interesting.
They're not that old.
Well, they're
Their
like 43 or 44, so they're in the early middle of their life.
They're
Ideally,
in their 40s?
yes, they are. They are the
What do you think they
40-year-olds.
were?
Bro, you know what? But after all the shit that they went through in AAA, they have to look at least 60 with all the stress that Lucas himself has caused.
Maybe. But you know that Eric is taking care of himself. You know that man is big on self-care.
Because he's not
You know what?
taking
Yeah,
care of
you're
anyone.
He is moisturizing twice a day.
What is he doing at that school? I guess he's principal now, but what was he doing as
Stop.
counselor?
No, wait, who's gonna take up the counselor role? Because I mean, he wasn't doing a good job. But is there gonna be like a better teacher?
Look,
Well,
he
that's
can't make it worse.
Don't say that. Then we're gonna have like a
It could be-
lobotomist come in. Like,
it could definitely be worse. Speaking from experience of counselors at my high school, but I mean, that's something that is explored in the first episode, is that Eric as principal is trying to hire his replacement, but the board is blocking like every decision he tries to make because they have
Oh.
that weird thing that Jefferson did. If you vaguely remember, some of you probably don't, it's okay, in the summer special, when Dylan and Riley were breaking into the school and they ran into Jefferson Davis Graham and Eric meeting there and kind of giving him a tour. And what was kind of going on there is, Jefferson, obviously they lost the school board trial thing to like make Lucas leave so it could become a more for-profit thing, and then they lost kind of their battle against Jack because they were trying to kick Jack out and install Yancey as principal, and Eric became principal. So their kind of like last conservative push here is to like basically have to like use the puppet strings on Eric, and like he has to go through approval for every decision, and their basis for that is like, well, you're new and like this is your first principal job, so we're just looking out for you. But it's really, like control.
God. Ugh.
So yeah,
Let
they
me
need
at
a
'em. Let me
counselor,
at 'em.
but it's
fighting.
taking some time.
Evil.
So, okay. No, I was gonna say, so the kids who do need some counseling and there's not a teacher, what are they gonna do?
I mean,
They can go be counseled by Eric still, surely.
yeah, I
until
was
the
gonna
new
say,
one.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if there was an urgent need, surely. I mean, and also he is still connected to the students. And, it's sometimes, I think as we kind of saw with Harper in the premiere with Zay and him coming back to visit her, incidentally, like, Harper's pretty good at talking to the kids, too, where if it's, like, a lower level concern that's not, like, a Farkle and this kid is, like, in danger of harming himself, like, I think Harper can handle a good amount of these situations better than most of the teachers that exist at AAA, so...
Yeah, well, we know
True.
no one's going to Corey.
Or Lucas.
no, can we talk about that?
Okay.
Let's talk
go
about
on.
Lucas being like a student teacher and Corey literally just talking shit about him. Like, he's such a loser. Like, I
Yes.
need his certification revoked. Like, he does not teach them and he just talks shit about people. Like, what are you
It's
doing
because
there?
Corey is threatened that Lucas is somehow a better teacher than he is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Corey's
And that's
only
really
been there
saying
a little bit.
something.
man. He's so
Mhm.
fragile.
It's true. You're all correct. And it's saying something because Lucas is not a good teacher, so...
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing okay. He's not like a good teacher, but he's like he's trying. He's
Well,
out there.
as Greta would say, Greta the freshman, he's the teaching assistant. He's not the teacher, so...
So does he even have to teach?
Sean was slaying this episode, I have to say. Or on the like how many episodes have it been? The first one.
In the
There's been
premiere.
one
To me,
episode.
yes.
But there's
There's a
also been 80,000
special-
words.
But no, he was slaying for me. I was excited.
Yes.
As the one
he-
person
Wait,
who's
what
a
did
fan of
Sean even do? Can't even remember Sean in this episode.
It's because he
He-
was like, he give Lucas a job, you bitch,
Yeah.
to Eric, and you know what? That was beautiful. I agree with Emma that he slayed this episode.
Yeah.
Like, he did that. He did that for my boy Lucas. And where's Jack? Where?
Yeah. Where is
Where
Jack?
was
Where is Jack?
Doing
That's a great
nothing.
question.
Jack
He's-
is on vacation. He
Not a
is
good
Who
enough
told
reason.
him to go
He's-
on vacation?
like everybody on Earth.
Well, I
Not a
didn't.
good enough excuse.
He is abroad right
He
now.
needs to come back right now.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
He's with me, so
Oh. Can you tell him to go home?
Can you please send him
I'm
back
a
to his
little-
child?
selfish. So we need some R&R.
Oh God.
Okay, enough of that. Moving
Stop it.
on.
No,
Oh,
he's,
so
he's
y'all aren't
resting.
supportive?
He's vacationing. He's maybe seeing some friends.
He has friends.
Friends.
He does.
Who's his friend? He has a friend?
A mutual friend, perhaps.
A mutual friend who also knows Grace?
What?
Ooh, Interesting.
Oh, what do y'all know that I don't? Because I
I don't
Y'all
know.
are- y'all are
Honey, I don't
suspicious.
know anything. This is what Maggie has like, she's like, the mutual friend.
Yes, the mysterious patron
Benefactor.
of Lucas
Ooh.
that we have
Exciting.
yet to know anything about, except that there's a mutual friend between Grace and Jack, presumably.
Wait. I think I know, but I'm not gonna say
You can say whatever you want. I'm not gonna say if it's right. So
because I was like, for some reason I'm remembering what's her name, Rachel, but I'm not sure if that's a completely different thing.
Ooh, Rachel.
I don't even. You know what? Forgot I said anything.
We love Rachel. We don't know who that is.
She's
but
ginger.
I'm sure she's great.
I've forgotten. Ignore me.
Okay.
I'm not ignoring you, honey.
Well, I want you to ignore me. Okay, so listen,
I think you're
I'm,
onto
just gonna,
something.
I'm gonna complain on something that I was like I understand why it was a thing because of what happened at the end of season 3, but in summer special, okay, Lucas was only there in like the very beginning for like a second, and then like at the end he showed up, but it was like his boots or something. Where
It's
was
storytelling.
well, let's correct the record first. So he was in the flashback at the beginning, but he was not in the episode until he appeared in the last part of it, which was the August time frame. And yes, it was very intentional that he was not there. Partially, I'll be honest, for a couple reasons. I think I've talked about this actually with Maddi on the podcast when we were talking about 106 when he's suspended, so he also is not there for like most of the episode. There is a little bit of just joy and enjoyment in withholding characters and making people that like them be like, where is this character? So
So
that's
basically,
confession
she
number
loves
one.
to hurt you, honey. That's
the
what
next
she's saying.
time, just punch me in the face because it'll hurt less.
And then yes, like Emma kind of said, storytelling is the other angle because we wanted to, emphasize that the way that you felt of like, where is Lucas, is kind of how all the people that care about him feel too which then, bubbles in the premiere. We saw this where it's like, you can handle that and be supportive of that, but only for so long when it seems like it's going to be this never ending bender of like disappearing and what does it do and
like,
who
do
is
we
it
need to call
serving?
the police? Is there a missing persons report? Like,
Right. But I wanted to show too with the moments where he comes back, like in the special, the one time he shows up is when Dylan, obviously lost Mr. Puff. And so
sadness.
Yes, so that moment of, showing that when it matters, he will come back. And I think that that's very important just for displaying, again, the kind of unique ways that Lucas displays friendship and displays his commitment to people. Is it's not as traditional as most people, but he will be there when you need him. And what I like about that scene is not just that he shows up, but that he sits down next to Dylan, and when Dylan leans into physical comfort, he doesn't shy away from it. Like, he is stable, and he lets Dylan lean on him. And I think that that's what I wanted to come across with his reappearance.
It came
Nice for
across.
Dylan. And where's Riley's hug?
Isn't there like in season 1 there's a quote?
For real.
I think it's like with the techie thing or like the revolution thing where it's like Lucas is like, when I care about something, believe me, you'll know.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we just talked about that. Yeah, in 107 when we recorded that episode, it's like, believe me, when I care about something, you'll know. And that is probably one of the most quintessential Lucas quotes in the entire show, if not maybe the most, in terms of how he's actually written and his characterization. But a similar line, which is in season 1 as well, is in the Les Miserables episode when he's given the responsibility of being stage manager, and Jack's like, can you fucking handle this? Because are you gonna go nutso? And Lucas basically says, like, I don't give a shit about this, but I know that my crew does, and I care about my crew. I'm not gonna let them down. And that's kind of a very similar line to that same spiritual idea.
Mm-hmm.
So yes.
Okay.
He was withheld for a reason, but it was also because it's fun to withhold people that people love. What can I say?
Okay, I'll give it to you guys. It made sense for him not to be there. I understood that. But will I complain shamelessly about the fact that I love Lucas and he wasn't in this? Yeah. But that's on me. Like, that's not on y'all, it's on me. I wasn't chill. Okay?
And that's okay. That's what we want. No chill is good. As long as it's not evil. But
Well, we know you have no chill, Maggie.
well, what are we talking about? It's
80,000
not like
words.
I organized a podcast about a fake show. What are you talking about?
We have 2 podcasts about a fake show now, and I think that is just levels of iconery that no one else is reaching.
So true.
You know what? Now there needs to be a 3rd podcast. I don't know who needs to start
Yes.
one up, but it would be fun.
Ellie,
Yes.
thought
Well,
you should start one.
what would my
with,
angle
like,
be?
You could do a political one. I don't know. What do you do?
Oh my gosh,
Politics
like
of ambition.
analyzing it through like different international politics lens.
Yeah, or you could do a retelling.
Do like the
We need-
scam version of Ambition. Like,
Yeah.
what would Ambition be like in every country?
Ooh, that's fun. It's creative.
I think we definitely need like critical theory analyzing of ambition.
Do a feminist, like a urban planning, like a anthropological, sociological theory.
Urban planning might just be a mess because they're in New York, so there's like not
That's
really any
I
hope.
think
But
that would be really interesting, actually. Just like a critical analysis through public transport and neighborhoods and the future and past of the urban
I mean, that's kind of
environment
true because
of
like how these
ambition.
kids,
That
how
sounds
these
like a
kids getting
thesis.
around, you know?
Yeah, I think this is really cool. And Ellie, I think you need to-
like
If
maybe
not a
if there
whole
was
podcast,
more.
if not a
say
whole
maybe-
podcast, we'll do a guest episode of Unpacked. And
Yes.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll have our guest planner, Eleanor.
Thank you. Maybe I'll
Maybe?
do one and it'll be like a 10-minute podcast, just like a quick
Ooh,
snippet.
yeah.
I'm
just
sure
like
that
a
would be
one shot.
refreshing for everybody who listens to our 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, you should do that. They can have it as a little break in the middle of ours.
It's a little treat.
Oh, cute. Well, yeah, everyone should stay tuned for that because I'm
Yay.
definitely working on it right now.
Are you?
No.
We gotta contact the sponsors. We gotta come on, guys. Get this
Would love
show
to
on
be
the road.
sponsored.
I think Ambition in general would love to be sponsored, but it's okay. It's the love is what sponsors it. We're sponsored by love.
I'm
Love
just gonna have
and
to bully Corey Fogelmanis and just tell him to sponsor us.
yes.
You know
we
what?
should get
He's
Sabrina to sponsor us.
Corey is like a little quirky, a little crazy. He just might do it. You know what?
I'm hoping he somehow finds these videos and is like, you know what?
He's like
Maybe."
that minute
Yeah,
they
it's like-
did of the mask on me, the Phantom of the Opera mask. That's so good. It just earns money.
And I think
Sure.
he would.
Also the fact that he's won Emmys for this role is
Yeah.
another
We
reason.
believe in him.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
This is his career-defining moment, so he should really get on this.
With all the mom money and fame,
Mhm, mhm.
I think he can afford it.
So speaking of Corey Fogelmanis and speaking of Farkle, how are we feeling about Farkle and the LA situation that we've seen so far?
I'm enjoying the LA storylines a lot, and I want Fagel to live his best life, and if that's this agent guy replying and him reaching the stars like tomorrow, or he does his whole degree and then finds his fame and success, then that's okay.
Yeah, I think he should go after his dream and not try make friends with people because clearly they're not cool enough for him.
He has friends.
I don't-
I wasn't gonna say. You know what? I will say though, it felt real sad to see people talk shit about his name. I was like, wow.
It's
Yeah.
only Hanny and I can do that.
Like literally, only Emma and I are allowed to bully this man because we do it out of place of love and we're doing it teasingly. But these people are so vile. I'm like, I'm going to California real quick and I'm gonna pop a sake. Okay, I'm about to pop somebody.
See, here's the thing about Farkle and his situation is I definitely think it is partially that young adults, be stupid and don't really know how to meet new people and interact. I think all of them are struggling with that a little bit. But the thing about Farkle specifically is that he's a little special. He's a little unique as a human being, and I think that when we were at Adams, it was kind of like it was where the freaks flocked. It was this kind of it was rough and people were mean to each other, but it was kind of like we all understand that we're all freaks, and so we can't really get on each other for that. And so I think what Farkle is struggling with is kind of this introduction into how do I mesh in the normal world coming from this place that nurtured so much of my eccentricity. And it is that question I think a lot of people go through, which is how much of yourself do you tamp down to fit in? And I think he's struggling with that kind of for the first time.
He should not change at all. He's perfect.
That's exactly what Maya would say.
I was gonna say, from a literary point of view, it's like those changeling stories where it's like this is gonna sound so mean. Well, not really, but it's just those it's like Irish folklore where it's like you have a baby and the fairies take it and then and they're weird and then they have to go back into the real world. And that's what he's going through right now. He's just okay, well, what's going on? And people are who are you? You're a fucking weirdo. But I support
So you're saying
him.
that Adams is a school of fairies.
Yes, I think that
That's clear.
well, that literally sounds like I'm literally calling them slurs, so I take that back. I don't think that,
Oh,
but
goodness.
no, they're magical beings.
Yeah, they're special. Yeah.
Farkle
A little
is
too special.
Farkle is the most special boy, and he should not change for anyone, and I'm glad he's going to be a smart bean in the advanced class. And, I just support his intellectualism and strangeness, and I just don't think that he should try be normal.
To conform, yeah. Let that man be a little weirdo, okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Let him be a little
We
freak.
need more weirdos. Exactly.
Like when he accepted the teacher's like thing to go into like the advanced class, I was like, yeah, let's go, go nerds.
Yes,
It
brainy.
was very beautiful.
Also,
I think I was just gonna say maybe there are people there that he doesn't have to change for.
yeah,
Because in his like little monologue thing, he was like very much being himself more, and people were receptive to that. But also there's that one guy who was like,
I was
Yeah,
literally just
so-
gonna say the same thing.
who knows?
Who
I
knows?
think we need
Maggie
to
knows.
talk to this. We need to talk to this Jordan fellow and see what he's about.
We will see.
Well, you
a
know
little
what?
more
His
of
name is
him
Jordan.
in the next episode.
I don't know if I trust like J names, but like boy names.
There are so
Josh.
many of those.
Excuse me.
That's like both my flatmates.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Don't trust.
There's
the
a
J
lot
name.
of J names in this season too. Josh, Jordan, Justin. Like, there's a lot of
Jasper.
them.
Exactly.
Jasper,
Justin
yeah.
I'm not. No
Mm.
trust here.
Disgusting. Okay, but
Jasper,
I
what
think
is
we
this,
trust
Twilight?
Jordan.
Jamal. There's a lot of J's.
Who is Jasper?
He's
is he
the
That
annoying
gross
film
film
boy in
You
Issa's class.
see?
Oh, he's
You
gripping Glock.
see?
Okay.
Yes, it's Grim McGluck.
I'm telling y'all that. The J's. Oh,
No.
okay. You know
So
what?
you're
I
including
will
Josh
say,
in this.
Josh gets the only reason why I'm gonna be excusing him is because Emma loves him. Okay,
Okay, thank you. Tread
that's
lightly.
it. That's it. Only
Okay,
because
so
Emma
what
loves
if-
him.
So what about Jack? Are you excluding Jack?
Jack.
You know what? It's because he's a doe, so it's excluded.
What about Jeff? Are you excluding Jeff?
Okay, damn.
There's like categories of J names.
Yeah, listen. If it's a J and it's like a
There's a
version of a
vibe.
white boy with like brown hair, don't trust. Okay.
That's literally Josh and
That's all.
Jack.
But they're different.
Jack is a dilf and Josh is Emma's boo thing. Okay, so it's excused. And Jeff is incredible, so we're gonna leave him out of this. Don't come for
Okay.
me, Maddi. Okay. Don't try me. Okay, they're nice right now. I'm about to start crying.
No.
No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
If you
I'm
cry,
joking.
I'll cry.
Oh my god, that would be quite the crossover. Two people crying. That would be like, y'all good?
Like, maybe take a break.
So,
Doing too much.
to
It's
keep
not our
tears
fault that we've
from
read
flowing.
80,000 words of this season already.
What is there anything else that you guys think about the LA section? Anything to remark upon? I mean, we did talk a little bit about Josh, but the worlds that we have now occupied, we have Hollywood, we have USC, we have the global beat studios. Like, is there anything more that you want to just remark on? Oh, and the diner that Yindra works
Oh
at.
yeah, the diner.
Do you know
I
what?
want to see Yindra and Maya interact with Josh, like,
Yes.
quite
Oh my god,
badly.
yes. I was so nervous because I was like, when is Riley going to send Yindra Josh's information? Because she sent it to Maya, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't care.
Oh, she
But
sent it to
what
all
about
three
my
of
girl
them.
Yindra?
She sent Josh all three of their contact info.
Okay, good.
Oh.
But did
It was
she
just
send?
that it was just that she sent it. She let Josh know, and then she sent Yindra, Farco, and Maya was like, "Here's Josh's info. Like, he's open to contacting him. Like, contact him." And then of course Maya, being Maya, was the first one to be like, "Okay,"
Right.
and like jump on that. So it's just the information is out there, but it's are people acting on it or not.
Okay. No, the thing is, maybe I read it too fast. I was so nervous, but I was like, where is Yindra's like the information given? But okay, now that you said that, okay, I'll be nice. Good to know.
I would love
I also
a map. Just to get back onto urban planning, I would love a map of where the locations are in Los Angeles, because obviously some people in this podcast are very familiar with Los Angeles, but other people picture all of these things in the same place and don't know the different areas. So that's just something that would help.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I think S and I did talk about that, and then it just got a little bit swamped by other things, but that is a good reminder. We also wanted to do that for New York again as well, because so many people have moved around. Not everybody's necessarily in the same place that they were when we first made a map, like in season 2 or whenever it was.
Yes. Do it.
All right, feel free to keep chatting. I have to let my cat out because she's like mad. So give me 1 second.
Let her speak.
We should also have like a map of like the whole country, actually the whole world, because and then it will have the UK in it as well, because then obviously Chai is in London and Italy, and
you know what? That's a good idea, and I want to know. I want the map to be marked. Every place that Charlie has had a hookup. I want to know how much of a hot girl summer he's having. Okay.
I don't know.
That's gonna be covered. It's gonna be the whole map.
Damn.
Just all of Italy.
I do not know if that would be information that will be shared, but I will say there is some stuff in the works that bonus content eventually might convey some of Charlie's actual story throughout his travels, rather than skipping 3 months.
Because honestly, it's kind of funny when it's a little funny when you see him in the summer special. He's being kind of like a dork. He doesn't go out. He doesn't do anything. Like, he meets people finally, but he doesn't go out and do anything. And then like the next episode, this man is a whore. I was like, listen. Oh my.
He needed to have his Disney princess freedom moment with When Will My Life Begin? He needed to have that arc. And then he was free to do as he pleased. So Charlie is 100% Ambition's Disney princess, and he needs to go through his Disney princess arcs.
And then he needs to save his prince. I'm sorry, what? That's Zay. His prince is Zay.
Thank you for clarifying. Thanks for...
Sorry, I didn't know if
it was really... I think we all knew.
It was really unobvious.
Oh, okay, you know what? The time capsule. I can't wait for them to open that time capsule whenever, and I can start crying.
Did everyone send their things yet, or no?
No, there's still a couple people missing.
Bro,
you know, I don't know how Riley's keeping it together. Like, if I was her, I would be like nagging people.
Yeah,
well,
I would literally be sending. I'd be sending a daily text. Send it.
I think as of the premiere, she was waiting on Issa, Farkle, and Lucas.
You are never getting those things
nope,
ever. Sorry.
Okay, she could just steal something of Lucas's, TPH. He's not going to give
But then it's not the same. It's not him choosing to put it in.
Ugh, I can't wait to see what he puts in.
I think she just...
I mean, she could just go in
Issa's room. Like down the hall, yeah.
Oh, you know what? Lucas is actually gonna put Kenneth's head in there because he
like rotted as fuck.
Just needs to go.
So gross.
Lord.
But yeah, I would not be too concerned about that. But I also
What
can
if
confirm that the items narratively have already been chosen. So
what
we
if
already
what
know
if
what they all are.
y'all, okay, what if Issa puts the Pride and Prejudice book in the capsule with the letter, and she still doesn't read it until they open the time capsule in like season 5? Y'all, I cracked
Well,
that.
no,
That would be
Issa
hilarious.
can't because Issa gave it back to Farkle.
Oh well, Farkle's gonna put it. Whatever. Whoever has that shit, I can't even keep track. She's not gonna no.
It was that Farkle was going to in the finale. Farkle was going to give it back to Issa, and it still had the letter in it. So there was a chance that they would read it. But then in that exact same moment, Issa was like, "No, you keep it," and then never saw the letter.
Okay, so then he's gonna, and then they will never read it.
Like, I can't believe that this could still be a possibility. Like, I forgot the letter existed. So
You need to talk to Sunny more because she would never let you forget that letter exists.
If
It
we're
is-
talking
it-
about
it-
Hollywood, I was just gonna say I giggled when Maya got rejected. That's all.
Stop
But I did actually. I think
rude.
she might grow on me this season. It might be like, she grew on me a bit in season 3, and then she pissed. You know what happened.
Tell the people what happened.
An attack.
No, literally, like, okay, well, I enjoyed her. Okay, I've always had an off relationship with her, or on and off, but I enjoyed her more with like the presidential race arc. But then, when Charlie is being accused of vandalizing and she's talking all this shit, I really lost it. Like, I was screaming. It was the ravings of like a very mentally unwell, enraged individual. But it hurt me. Like, you have no room to speak on him. Like, it was just like, obviously he would not do that. But anyways, I got very upset. So she was kind of on my shit list for the rest of the season. There was sometimes, but I have a feeling, she's gonna be with Josh. So then I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'll like you again. But no, I actually do think like, I think her arc with Issa is interesting. And I think, to me, so far this season, I can understand her nuances a little bit more and see some growth and development. Like, I think she will, she's always going to be Maya. But I think this season we'll maybe see her, like, mature a little more. We'll see, but
Hopefully.
keen for that.
Yeah.
Mature Maya,
I agree.
2K22.
Oh, you know what? Emma was in the special.
I still giggled.
Emma was in the special.
When was she in the
Where?
special?
Oh, the summer
You were-
special?
Yeah, no,
Really?
right before season 4, you were one of the there was a character named Emma.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Emma,
the
20.
French-
The
Bonjour.
French girl.
The French Riley is how we refer to her in our notes.
I was like,
Oh.
oh, Emma.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle.
I mean, at least I think it was
Emma.
Emma, right? I don't know if I'm going crazy now.
We-
Was it Emma?
Yes, her name was Emma.
I'm like, damn, what if I'm doing wrong about this?
No, I remember because Maggie sent that thing, and I like a snippet of it, and I literally jumped like in my skin. I was like, "Who is that?"
Listen, we needed a common French name, and that was on the list. And I was like, Esther, we can't pass this up. We have to use this name.
You have to torture me, so there you go.
It's a character who interacts substantially with Charlie, and it fits in the naming conventions. Yes, we had to do it.
Whatever.
So
Oh, goodness.
then I will transition. We will jump from LA to New York with our people that are still in New York. How are we feeling about these new settings like NYU? And we have the Anya Kelly Design Studio. Lots of fun new places in a city that we have been in now for 3 seasons.
I
Yeah.
love what Jade is going through.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obsessed.
I
And
love
hope that
Jade's
she
story.
somehow gets some sort of like I don't know. It hopefully like for her doing all that rewriting of those files or whatever it was, that there was like a bunch of them.
She's
I'm hoping
valid.
that she somehow gets like kudos or something. You know, like I want her to be what's it called? Rewarded. Thank you.
Rather than threatened with being fired, as Melanie kind of implied.
Yeah.
Melanie is just a bitch because she knows that what Jade did is honestly incredible. That's it.
Yeah, she's jealous. She's like, oh, damn, I have some competition here. I need to watch out for this girl. She's
She
coming
better
for my
watch
job.
out.
And yeah, exactly. She should. She's right. Jade is coming for her job,
She's gonna
and
end her whole career.
she's going to take it.
As she should. She deserves it.
Yeah.
I mean, after having to work in AAA, and she was the only costumer, or like costume. What's it called? Costume.
Costumer. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Seamstress.
Okay. Well, who was paying her? She
No
did
one.
That.
She didn't
Literally,
get
nobody was
paid.
paying her. She did that all on her own.
Yeah.
She definitely, I would say, has some of the best determination in the whole show. Girl is committed. She does not falter.
But Jade and Nigel, have they hung out yet? Only like one
Yeah, they hung out
time.
for lunch
had
that
lunch.
one time.
I think maybe they need to hang out every episode.
It's only been one episode, girl.
It's been
And
point
clearly there
five
wasn't
and
enough.
0.5, and I would watch them separately on TV because they were so long. So it's 2 episodes.
That's fair.
I'm sensing trouble. I just gotta say,
No.
my senses are tingling. I think she's gonna be spending so much time at her job and or her internship, like her ass is not getting paid. Is she getting paid at all?
Yes, her job
Okay,
does pay.
good.
Not a lot,
Okay.
but it does pay.
Okay.
We should be worried about Imogen.
You think?
Imogen, whatever her name is, it doesn't even sound real because she's trying to be friendly with Nigel. And listen, I can understand girls and boys can be friends, okay? But I'm also hating on her because she was being mean to Riley, and I'm like immediately like I don't trust that bitch. Don't come for me, okay? Thank you.
No, you're right.
Caso cerrado,
You're right,
goodbye.
and you should say it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Okay, you've never heard the name Imogen before?
No, actually, you know what? That was funny because in Heartstopper, there's a girl named Imogen, but I don't remember how to pronounce it. Apparently, I was saying it wrong. I don't. Apparently.
Wow.
We have a cousin called Imogen.
Oh,
I also had
I'm
I
sorry.
had a manager called Imogen as well.
You say I'm sorry.
It's like a common name.
I'm sorry for saying. I love
I
all
don't-
Imogens. If you,
I
if you
just
are
don't
a
need to
watcher,
lose- You're gonna alienate like some of your fan base.
I'm so
All of the
sorry.
Cup of Ambition listeners are named Imogen.
I'm so sorry, guys. It's the. I'm sorry. It's the heat. It's getting to me. I 100% support Imogens across the nation. I love y'all.
Only the nation.
And also
Speaking to her
across.
constituents, Annie has my vote for president.
Thank you, Emma. I can always
Yeah.
rely on you.
Exactly.
Anyways, I said what I said.
Okay.
You sure did.
I mean, I
Um,
think who we need to watch out for is Evan, because that man
Oh.
was very
Don't.
not in a bad way, but I'm just saying I think he has a thing for Riley. So
Oh, big time.
I'm just saying that, and I'm
does?
saying I know Hannah's gonna yell at me. Well, probably everyone in this.
I'm gonna go bully Emma right after this call, y'all.
But I think that Riley and Lucas are gonna have some rocky times, and not necessarily
No.
in a cliche dumb way, because I have faith in in Maggie and Esther, but I think
Thanks.
but I don't know, I just think there was that line where Riley was like, I have a fresh start. It's like going back to Adams again, and then Lucas was like, oh well, I hope you don't find a new boyfriend. I was like, ooh. And Maggie hinted there's relationship trouble this season. So I don't know. This is just what
No.
I'm thinking.
I
Just
choose to
saying.
ignore that. In fact, I choose to believe that
I'm
that's
going
not
to
gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm
I
pretending
mean,
that's not real.
I will not say whether anything is right or wrong, but I do think with every kind of the major relationships on the show, whether that is, of course, that applies to romances, but also with some of the platonic dynamics that we have, I think the big struggle with a lot of those dynamics is if you're in a different place than the other person, whether that's physically, whether that's emotionally, whether that's like just your time in life. Like I think something that Emma is kind of hitting on is this kind of friction that inherently exists between Riley and Lucas because Riley is moving forward whereas Lucas feels stuck in place. And so how is that going to affect their relationship? And I think you could say the same thing for Jade and Nigel, where it's both of them are going into new situations, but their situations are different. So it's like they're in different worlds. How do they reconcile that feeling, especially if one or both of them, you know, feels like, oh, I'm succeeding in this way or I'm not succeeding in this way. And I think that that's, I mean, we know that's true for Zay and Charlie, that they are physically not in the same place, and that has impacted the way that they interact with each other. So I think that that's a major thing to be explored this season.
Okay, so you're gonna hurt us.
Interesting.
So you're gonna hurt us. I love that. Goodness, I don't know if I could. Like I've done my time. We went through the breakup once. I don't need to break up twice.
You will never suffer as much as I have suffered.
Emma,
so
listen, you are a different breed. You like the angst. You like that sort of shit. Okay, don't you even love the fact that Charlie is living his best life. You know,
I am
sleeping with other people. I can't be like that.
Like
I don't work like that.
I rescind my vote because I think you're not for free love, and you're trying to, you know, take away people's rights. And
okay,
listen.
I'm not saying you can't
Don't
sleep
vote
with whoever you want to.
I know her secrets.
No, shush. No, listen. The thing is, I'm not one of those people who like enjoy seeing like a couple that I'm like. If I enjoy a couple, if they break up and I have to see them with other people, I will barf. Okay, I can't physically. I can't.
Well, good luck,
nauseous.
Jany.
Shut up. I'm gonna come for you. I know where you live. I will be meeting you tomorrow.
Well, that's nice.
That's cute. What's that little visit?
That is, I mean, that's something that we've discussed, you know, in this chat together. But for the greater listening audience, that is a kind of distinction that you have to think about with characters. You know, is for example in the Zay and Charlie situation, yes, Charlie seems to be exploring, you know, maybe sampling some European offerings, but I think
Oh my gosh.
Don't say it like
you know,
that.
the question, you know, is like from what we have seen or what we have perceived, you know, how serious are those things? You know, we've seen him come back to two things.
Exactly. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the whole time he has been touching the class ring, aka wedding ring, promise ring moment that Zay gave him, and two, he wrote the fucking letter with the journal that he's been keeping very close to him, and he's like, "Dear Zay." Mm-hmm. So my case,
and that is the question: is what comes after Dear Zay? That is the question.
Dear Zay, I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again.
And then he texted him and he said, "Hey, sorry I suck. Can't wait to see you again."
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like in a way, like he almost was writing that letter as like, and don't like come at me if this is reading too much, but you know, it's almost like a prayer in that whole like Zay is his like divinity moment. He's like, "Dear Zay," in brackets, God. And he's like getting stuff off his chest. And maybe that means he's like coming back to himself because as we know, like his religion is a very big part of himself. So yeah.
I'll back
I
that.
mean, I don't think that that's necessarily reading too far into anything. I think that it does. It reflects kind of the idea you said of like him coming back to himself. I think that was a huge thing that everybody in the premiere was going through a little bit, but I think Charlie's was the most kind of obvious version of it, which is like when you end up in a new place and you're trying to figure out who you are, you become versions of yourself that maybe are not authentic or have pros in one way, but take you away from other parts of yourself. Like, one of the most interesting things to write for the premiere that I was excited to write, but was also an interesting experience, is like kind of writing Charlie as a little bit of a bitch, because it was like the first time that he like the way that he would like snap at Bridget or was like getting very weird about things, like it was not him. And it, you know, it was interesting to kind of explore that a character who is not traditionally that way, a version of them where they've leaned into that part of themselves. But I think a big reason for that for Charlie is it was less I'm becoming a different person, and it was I don't have to be anybody. And when you lose your identity, there's no bars on how you act, or, you know, you lose your sense of definition.
He was having a
And Zay
real
is the one
Gemini
who
moment.
keeps him real. Oh,
Is what I'm saying.
Both
Gemini
true.
moment. Yeah, that's true. No, Zay's the one who keeps him real. Like, I think
That's true.
Bridget and Zay actually have that in common. Like,
Mm-hmm.
keep
Yeah, there's a part
him
where
grounded.
Bridget was like, "Oh, well, these people don't really know you, and that you know me. Well, people don't know me, but you know me. I read the lines. I read the directorial notes. I read the camera changes, and it went from that to Zay. So
Mm,
Ooh.
I'm just
Interesting.
saying.
love it.
Talking about Zay, how do we feel about how he's doing? Because I'm a little nervous about him. I want him to do well. Okay.
Yeah. No, he has to win. He has to get the transfer. Otherwise, like, what is the point?
Yeah, I'm a little scared. Like, because it can only be one person, right?
There's two
I think it's
slots. There's
two.
Two
transfer
slots. Okay. Do we think it? Because I'm worried about Vanessa. But like, if it's the two of them, okay, great. But I'm a little worried.
I kind of think that Zay and Vanessa should, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. They should just work together to take down everyone else in the class.
Ooh, you're right.
Ooh, yeah.
They sabotage everybody else.
Like on purpose?
Yes, they could be like the dream team. It would be like,
They put
yeah,
wax
like,
on everybody's feet.
yeah, like just little like hinders here and there, maybe
Like a Markle moment.
like a Markle
Stuffing
moment.
stuff in the ceiling tile.
I feel like Zay is too like I want to actually have it through my merit. Then he's very prideful.
Yeah, I mean, but where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in sabotaging everybody else's chance? No, but yeah, you're right. But it would be funny.
I'm really interested to see more Vanessa and Zay because I feel like we've seen a bit of them, but I want to see them kind of go less surface, less like impulsive emotions, and more like what are they like when they're calm and feeling safe.
That's an interesting
I think
question.
we're definitely gonna see some stuff happening with them, and I'm excited. Just saying. Again, I'm having a ball.
We know.
So sorry to
know.
everyone else.
I was gonna say,
We
cute
know
Hanny being
Emma.
like, well, that's you.
But I mean, listen, I was a little like, but I think because I was like iffy on their dynamic, but I think the shift in their dynamic at the end of the episode was interesting, and I think there were some moments where it's like you can tell there's connection there. So, do I think they're each other's forever? No, that will never happen. But
They could teach each other things. Maybe they could grow as people together.
What would you do
interesting.
if Zay and Vanessa were endgame?
I would throw the whole thing away.
Because listen, we might think ZC would be endgame. But
It's
Maggie's always like, oh well, we don't know if they're gonna be endgame. It's like why
Maggie
would you
has
stop
literally
saying
like
this?
plagued and diseased by them. I don't like. I don't know. This is like know how Maggie is.
It is the ultimate tragic love story move to have them not end up together, but have hope, or like not end up together. Like, but for me personally, as a writer, look, I am not saying that XYZ people are going to end up together, but I think one thing that really annoys me when I read stuff is when it doesn't feel like there's closure. Mm-hmm. So to me, that is the main thing, is we're going to get closure. What that means, I can't say.
You see what I mean, though? She be saying these things. She confusing me, myself, and I. Okay.
I feel like I should back up, too, because Emma had mentioned that I had hinted at some point to some things, and I feel like I should clarify for the listening audience. The hint that I made at one point was that a conversation was happening, and I had said that a couple will break up in season 4, but I didn't say who or in what context.
Now, why would you say
that?
But
that's my guess.
Why would you
and
do
that is
that?
Emma's guess.
I'll see. But I'm just
okay.
Wait. When you say okay, I'm so sorry. Go.
Chai and Issa are gonna break up.
Oh,
and
okay.
Anyone else that I care about.
They're done.
I mean, there's not just. I was thinking more along the lines of a more important, more consequential couple. Let me say,
why would
not that
you...
they're not nice.
Sorry, I'm laughing because you're like, I don't care.
I swear to God.
You're like,
we all know.
Okay, sure. Well, can't be Zay and Charlie because they already broke up. So I guess it's Riley and Lucas.
Well, there
could be Jay Nigel. I'm sorry, Ellie.
This will apply to a question that I'm going to ask when we transition to the Q&A section, but the way that we kind of think of pairings right now, whether that is a pairing that will, be endgame or be romantic, in terms of like the ones we are writing around, we kind of have two tiers, right? So we have our main trio of dynamics, which, as I'm sure all of you know, is Riley and Lucas, Zay and Charlie, Dylan and Asher. Obviously, Dylan and Asher are not here right now, so they're fine. And then we have a subset trio, which is kind of like the next tier of those relationships, and that's Jack and Eric, Jade and Nigel, and Della Minkus, so Issa and Farkle. So, and then of course there's like Markle, who like doesn't have to worry about this because they're not ever going to be romantic, so they don't have to worry about all this, but those are our kind of main dynamics that we work around.
Don't do this to me, Maggie. I'm so tired. Free me, bitch. Free me.
Well, you know what, Hanny? You know what? Bringing it around to the end here of the season, but what we've seen so far with season 4, I think Riley and Lucas had a challenging moment in the premiere. They had to really confront some things. That the scene that they have that is an argument, I think, is a very important scene, not because it is an argument, but because of the things that emerge in that scene, the kind of points that make it we can no longer communicate. But they handled it very maturely when they came back to it, and they were able to work through it. So I think that should give you some comfort.
Oh, so they're gonna maturely break up.
Did I say that?
You see what I mean, y'all? She be putting this shit in my brain. She's messing with my brain, dudes.
Listen, we have 12 more 50,000 words. I hope they're not gonna be that long. I think the premiere was just very long, but we have 12 more episodes, so who knows what's gonna happen in 12 episodes. Much could change.
Well, you know what? I'm sorry to Ellie, but I'm going to put Jay Nigel as the one who's going to break up because every other couple has broken up and it's their time.
Okay, but here's a question for that. Here's a question. How do you define breakup? Because to me, I don't think Riley and Lucas have broken up because they were never together at the end of... They didn't get together before the fight, the explosion of the... all that shit at the end of season 1. So them getting together at the end of season 2 was them getting together for the first time in my perception.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Great. So, great. All right. You see what I mean, listeners? We're done. I'm leaving. They're calling me backstage. I've gotta go.
But I think that's like most of the pairings have been either together or not. Because like Zay and Charlie were together and then broke up and they have not gotten back together. Riley and Lucas got together at the end of season 2 officially and are still together. Jack and Eric got together in season 3 and are still together. Jade and Nigel got together in season 3 and are still together. Dylan and Asher got together 4 years ago and are still together. It depends if you count 312 as a breakup. I wouldn't really personally, but I guess they were not together for a week or whatever. And then, Dylan Minkus has not gone together at all. So there's a lot to consider there.
I'm confused at this stage.
Okay.
To let that sink in. Don't worry about this, is what I want to say to the listeners. We have 12 episodes. There's so much more to focus on in those 12 episodes than is someone gonna break up.
No, I just like to cause drama.
Like it's worth thinking about, but it's also the question of who's gonna get together, in 4 seasons, in the rest of the season. There's that room as well. Get together, get back together, who knows?
You do, you know. All right, no, okay, I'm gonna move on because I get it. Let's just let me just leave.
With that, let's unless somebody has final comments, we can close discussion on season 4. And very claps around, cheers to all. Very fun, very interesting, and we can move into the question section.
Oh,
okay.
Where
Let's go.
We had obviously some of our friends from the Ambition fandom sent questions, and then I wrote down a few. So really quickly, I'm just gonna run through some of the ones that were sent just directly to me for like questions for me. So I will just run through those real quick. Everybody else take a water break, refresh your voice. So quick mini question break for Maggie. So our first question is, are there any characters we might not actually meet or were meant to be more important but ended up not being as important? That's a very interesting question. Nothing comes to mind off the top of my head. I think the reverse is often more true, where it's like we didn't think that X character would be that interesting or that important, and then they ended up taking much more space. I mean, I think the obvious example of that is Dylan and Asher, who were not written as main characters in season 1 and then organically became so. But I can't think of any like ones where it was like, oh, we're gonna bring this person in, it'll be a really big deal, and then they did not. I think a maybe kind of interesting example is that there was a period in like maybe season 1 when we were starting to really iron stuff out, where we maybe were like gonna do something different with Brandon, but then when we developed Haverford more specifically, he just pretty easily slotted into that, and clearly we had that figured out by the end of season 1 because he shows up at the gala at the end of season 1 in his Havy role. So yeah, that's about all I can think of on that front. Next question, aside from the gardeners, which character is the most religious? This is interesting as well. Yes, obviously the gardeners are kind of obvious, but at the same time, like, are the gardeners even that religious? Like, individually is a kind of big question. I mean, we know Charlie feels very strongly about his faith. We know Agatha is very religious, but, like, Bridget's not religious. Rosie, I think, is a big question mark. No one really knows. And then Daisy is, like, that girl's obsessed with bugs. So, I mean, that's kind of her religion. But I would say in terms of characters that we actually interact with and that kind of matter to the story world, I would say Yindra. I mean, we've seen her at her church, we've seen her build a community there. Obviously, I don't think she herself is as devout or intense about it as Eleanor Gardner, for example. And I think she's a little more...
Is anyone?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the bar, isn't it? The bar you don't want to hit. But she is definitely connected to it. And I think I will say we will see a little bit more of that and get to explore a little bit more about her perception about religion, her family's relationship to religion, and her relationship with her family. Like, all that stuff. We have some really cool Yindra stuff coming this season that I'm really excited about. So, good for her. Next question here. How far in advance did we plan for Rosie and Yuri? Cute. So that is a kind of another great situation of like something that kind of just developed organically, because I don't think we necessarily even thought to ourselves for a while of like, will these characters ever even interact? But it kind of arose from situational stuff in season 3 where we needed like, okay, we know Charlie's at Haverford, and so he's not going to learn about Zay's injury. We need a way to get that information to him that's not like Riley telling him, because Riley is respecting Zay's privacy. And so that kind of became like, oh, well, if Yuri's at this gifted school, then like, oh, Rosie could be there too if she went there for ninth grade and went to a different high school, and they could be talking and hear it through the grapevine because obviously Farkle is connected to Adams. And that just kind of arose this kind of fun line of thinking of like, well, why are Rosie and Yuri talking to each other? That's kind of funny. And then, of course, Rosie's gonna develop a crush on this like beanpole gothic nerd. So I think it was just really, it organically developed from that question of like, why would these two characters talk to each other? And it then developed, I think, into some interesting thematic elements to the Gardner family and to just their characters and the richness of that world. I mean, it's very fun. It's one of our favorite little mini things, and we will see more of them this season when we actually, you know, see Rosie again, because it's gonna be a little bit until we like see her, since Charlie's not home right now. But yeah, very fun, very kind of like organic thing that just arose out of telling the story. It's one of those beautiful things. And then I will save these last couple ones for near the end, and we will jump now into the group questions. So are we rested? Are we ready, my guests?
Yes.
I'm here.
All right. Let's dive right in then. I will, to preface for the listening audience, I gave them most of these questions in advance because I knew if I put them on the spot, they wouldn't have an answer.
I did not
so
look at
they
them.
have they've had the opportunity to read them ahead of time if they wanted to, and then there are a subsection of ones that I kept to be answered in the spur of the moment. Goodness. So, can just jump right in. So, for everybody, who is your favorite family character?
I'll start. Miss Rosie Gardner.
Yes, snaps.
She's sassy queen. I love that she gives Charlie shit. I love that she was like, so you like defo had a secret boyfriend. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she had her theories. What do we think her theories were? She said she had like 3 or 4 guesses. And that Zay, I think she said when Zay came over in the finale and she saw him go up the stairs with Charlie, she said it was like, oh, it was person number 3. So Zay was her 3rd guess.
I think she probably guessed like some of the heavy beans.
Mm-hmm. Emma, probably. Are you like Brandon?
Well, yeah, I think it's probably Evan that she would think.
Oh, like Charlie.
Or maybe she said maybe Farkle. Maybe she thought Farkle.
Yeah.
I mean, if she likes a Mingus, she wouldn't put it beneath him.
True. I don't know how much she knows about Charlie's classmates, but if she had like theories that were like slightly unfounded, then she could really have thought it was anyone, you know. She could have been like, oh, I've seen that tall, blonde, scary looking guy around. Like, he's good looking.
I mean, I'm sure knowing that, I think there's in Cruel Summer references that like Rosie and Charlie used to play Nancy Drew computer games together. So like she's very much like nosy. She's kind of like Riley in that sense. Like she's very nosy. She likes to figure things out. So I'm sure she was like stalking Charlie's social media last year, being like, okay, like I know he has a boyfriend, but I'm gonna figure it out by looking at his social media, even though he doesn't say who his boyfriend is. So like anybody who ends up ever on his social media or connected by a social media thread, she could have seen.
So not Lucas because he has a Nokia phone.
He's never photographed.
He's a cryptid.
I have a question to answer this question. Am I allowed to choose Eric?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I choose Eric. I know he's like kind of a main character as well. But I just love how he is there for Riley and like giving her that real talk, because and I did kind of take it as like people in the premiere as well. Just Riley needed someone to be like, hey girl, you know how like you are really busy with all this college stuff? Well, maybe like all your friends are as well, and that's why they're not responding to you. So chill a little bit. And
Yeah.
but he says it's so nice and like also just gives her food, which is lovely because that's what college students need.
Eric does keep it real. He keeps it real. He does that with Issa as well. In a way, I think in some ways Issa needs it more than Riley, because
Yeah.
Riley, she can figure most stuff out for herself. But like Issa, sometimes we love them, but they really need a slap upside the head a little bit sometimes. So I think that Eric's kind of like everybody's family member.
Yeah, I love it.
Hanny, do you have a favorite family member?
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep muting because of my parents. I wrote two answers, and you understand why. But the first family favorite is Randall. That is my boo thing. That is the only man that matters. That is a dilf. Okay, he is number one in my heart. And now the more serious answer is probably Rosie, just because she has like a lot of iconic moments and she pops out to me more than the other family members. Mm-hmm. So that's it.
Very nice. Randall's a good answer. He's Dylan's family, but he's really kind of Lucas's family too. He's very much a dad role in Lucas's life.
Ugh, he's so iconic. I'm like, more of him actually.
Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be seeing him for a while after the premiere because Dylan's not here. So
damn. You don't
alas,
pop my bubble like that.
And Emma, your favorite family member?
I can tell you that it's not Augie Matthews. I hate that little twerp. No, okay, I think Rosie. I like Randall, but legitimately, I think he's like a good family member.
Yes.
And I think also Grant is kind of fun to me. Like I don't know, I mean we don't see him much, but
he's kind of the same
I like
brand
him
as
a foil, as a foil to Dylan, and he's just kind of like annoying, but he's fun.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
So those are my answers.
Rosie support squad in the chat. All right, next question. Besides Yindra, Jade, and Nigel, which A-class character would you have liked to see developed more? And then I kind of add to this, or just had more screen time.
Dave. I just love Dave, and I would happily watch a lot of just him just living his life. Just, seeing how he goes to college and whatever he is doing.
It's true. It remains a mystery.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want to know what he's doing, and I know that part of his charm is like how mysterious he is and how random he seems. But like personally, I would still love him just as much if I knew way more about what he's doing and what he's up to. And I just think, he's comedy gold. I would happily watch like a web series where it was just like Dave's life and he just like had like random adventures and like lived his cute, funny life. And I just want to see him with
like
his
Dave's
mom
life.
And yeah, exactly. Like see him and Yogi hanging out and yeah, like that's my choice.
He's doing different side quests. Like he joins a mariachi band for no reason.
Exactly. It would be fun.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I was gonna choose Dave actually, but then I changed my mind. I wanted to see Clarissa.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because I thought we needed like I don't know, more girls potentially, a little bit more time for the women, and I don't know, like her and Haley, like what happens to them after after high school. I'm quite intrigued. So yeah, that was changed my mind, but that was my choice.
Good answer.
And I don't get a good answer? Cool.
No, you do. You always have a good answer, Maddi.
Thank you.
Oh my god. My answer was Jeff because I feel like he was so fun, and I'm gonna quote Nate here, and he's a killer breakdancer. I would have loved to see more breakdancing from him. That's it. Let's go,
Yeah.
Jeff.
I'll say, with absolutely zero context to provide, that we will see more of Jeff in season 5.
Oh my god.
Season
Oh my god.
5.
Let's go. I stay winning.
Oh my goodness.
Emma?
Yeah, well, okay, I second Clarissa and Jeff. And also, I mean, Dave. I always want to see Dave. But I mean, it has to be Nate for me. I'm probably the only person who likes his character. But he's just like, I love him. Like, he's so annoying. And I enjoy that. So Nate.
That's a good answer. That's fair.
That's fair.
All right, next question. What is your favorite OT3, so little trio, or core 4, so a group of 4? Also, I can answer really quickly for the past question. My answer was going to be Darby because she was very fun to even just dig into a little bit in the episode that kind of was her episode, which was Winds of Change, 311. And I think she gets a kind of bad rap, you know, because she's friends with Chai and Sarah and all of them, and that kind of taints how other people perceive her. But she's a nice girl, so I think she was misunderstood for most of her time at Adams.
Yeah.
So yes, now everybody else can answer the OT3 or OT4 question.
I put Della Markle. I just feel like they have the best OT3 vibes going on, and at the moment the tension with like them all being kind of at odds a little bit, it's interesting. I want to see it resolved. I'm like rooting for them because they have a very weird but like special relationship.
That's true.
Word. Real shit. Yeah. They're going through it.
They are.
Well, I put Dill Lucasher, or whatever how you would
However it's
pronounce.
pronounced.
I always mispronounce words. They're iconic, and I love them. That's it. I'm sorry. You know what really hurt was the part after the joyride when Asher was like, "I'm done."
Ooh.
That hurt. That was
Yeah.
evil, but it was necessary, and I like the angst that came from that. They ate, okay, and they slayed. They came, they conquered.
True.
My answer is, well, first off, I want to say Charlie, Zay, and Riley, but we haven't got to see enough of them yet, and I
So
just have
true.
hope for
So
the future.
true.
They're my like one that I can't wait to see more of, but of ones that we have seen more of, I have to say the same answer as Ellie, because Maya and Fakul and Issa are all just so iconic in their own rights. They're all such strong personalities, and they usually build each other up, but also keep each other real. And so, yeah, seeing them go through this is quite interesting because I definitely see all the sides of the fight, and yeah, and also I love the like hectic dynamic of like Issa and Farkle like being like, oh no, like feelings, no, that's not a thing, and then also the Maya Issa fight, and then it's like all these dynamics going on.
And kind of affecting one another as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
Because, you know, Farkle's in that situation where he's like, okay, I guess Issa is just upset because Amaya and just doesn't care about me anymore. But it's like, no, the reason Issa can't talk to you is because they can't process talking to you right now. So,
Yeah.
But that's a misunderstanding for you.
Yeah.
All right, Emma.
I would say Dilu Kasher for one of them. I agree. I think they have a they're very well rounded in that one, they just have like very different personalities that mesh together, but they have, they have the fun, they have the drama, they have it all. But I also really enjoyed Zay, Yandra, and Nigel last season. And I want to see more of them. And also I think even just the rivalry, like weird dynamic with like Zay, Yandra, Nigel, and Dylan, Lucas, and Asher, like at the in the Shakespeare, and when they were in Stratford upon Avon, and they were kind of beefing about Jade and Nigel was fun. Like, I don't know, yeah.
It's a good answer. I would say for me, it's I guess this is kind of like cheating, but I have to be authentic. I have to be my authentic self. And for me, as the writer who's writing these people all the time, for me, it's the OT core four of Riley, Lucas, Zay, and Charlie. Even though Zay and Lucas don't like each other, to me, that's part of the fun and the flavor. Is that they like can't stand each other, but also like, can they really not stand each other, or is it just kind of theatrical? I really enjoy that. But I think, Maddi, you're right. It's like we haven't actually fully gotten to experience that full dynamic because everybody's been trifling and, like being off in their own place, or like Zay and Charlie aren't speaking to each other and Riley's in the middle, and then Charlie's gone, and then, so they have not really gotten to all kind of have to interact in that way, but I am very excited for them too. And part of the reason for that as well is because I would think my trio answers would be a tie between, like Maddi said, Riley, Zay, and Charlie, even though we haven't got to see them yet. The way that their lives are so intertwined and interconnected is so personal to me. So I love them. And then also more just kind of silly, but I also love them, is Riley, Charlie, and Lucas. So, I mean, they were going to go to prom together, everybody. So,
just saying.
Just say conspiracy theories. So, yes. All right. Next question. I feel like you guys will not have answers to this, but that's okay. What is your favorite episode and your least favorite episode?
Ever?
I have answers.
Good.
Yeah, don't be assuming shit, okay,
No,
Maggie? No.
No, Hanny. You know I have a right to assume because you and Emma are like, I don't remember anything that happens in any episode.
Wow, using my own words against me in this economy, in this life. You know what? I see it.
And you know what? If you were up to date on Cup of Ambition, maybe you'd remember more episodes.
What? We're still waiting for sponsors. We're going through something. It's top secret, okay? Emma can't say, and neither can I.
No.
Anyway, go on.
Okay,
for people that have answers.
I'm assuming you meant like of all the seasons.
That was my perception of the question as was submitted.
I think it's episode 8 of season 2. I think I've mentioned this to you before, Maggie, but there's a lot of like angst in this episode and a lot of like culmination of things that have been building up. Maybe am I thinking of the right episode?
Yes. Would that be
the one
with the joyride and the yes, we don't know what happened to Farkle and the ZC messy choices that they are making. Yes, all of that is 208.
And the Riley and Lucas of it all.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, but I also did write down the one where they go to the UK, but like the second one.
Yes.
I think.
Season 3, episode 14.
Oh my god, look at me remembering the numbers as well. And also the finale of season 1. Had me jumping around in excitement, so
Yes.
And in terms of least favorite, like that was a bit harder, to be honest, because every episode has good stuff in it, but I know that you and Maddi have discussed this on the podcast before. Is it the 3rd episode?
Yeah, 102 is the one that we both don't like.
Haters, Phantom of the Opera haters.
It was
102
traumatizing to rewatch that, okay?
Yeah, 102 is the one that I would cut from the show if I was not lazy and was actually going to rewrite
Okay.
it.
I think
I'm
it's
gonna
fun
say that.
because Farkle almost dies like 20 times. It's foreshadowing. It's needed.
Well, Emma, I'm gonna say listen to the Unpacked podcast where we talk about it, because you will understand why I hate it so much.
Because you hate Phantom Leopard. No, I'll listen. I'm on break now. I'm ready to catch up.
It's all good. Okay, so you guys have faves, least faves.
Oh, okay. See, I have a least favorite, and it's Odd Couples. Okay, season 3, episode 10. But that was only because of Missy
Yes.
and her actions towards Lucas. That one, I honestly couldn't stomach it. Okay, so it's a least fave. Like, I would not rewatch that. Like, it's well written, and it has a lot of good stuff, whatever. But like, it was a lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fair.
So, and like,
it impacted.
yeah, okay, like it did what it needed to do, but maybe punch me next time. Okay. Then, like, my fave episodes, I couldn't really like pinpoint one, because like I just can't remember. But I had like a lot of ones. So mine were Jolly Holiday Part 2, Moment of Truth, and Can You Dig It? And also the one where Larly works together to sneak into
Dylan and Asher.
Dylan and Asher. Okay.
The longest episode in the show.
And there was a lot of good stuff in that one too. So those are my answers. Exactly. Okay. That's it.
Lovely. Emma?
Okay,
Maddie?
I'll go. I don't have a least favorite. But for favorites, I agree that the episode like post Farkle's attempt is really interesting and one of my favorites. I think honestly, like, I don't know if this is, I guess it is a favorite, but the senior showcase episode, like, I just remember having so much fun reading it, and it was just like really nice and warm and a really beautiful like culmination of a lot of the entire show. And also just like the last chunk of season 3 was like so much fun and really interesting, and made me feel things. So probably those are my faves. And I do enjoy the season 1 finale. And also underrated Cruel Summer. Just saying.
True. I will say again, I think I've said it on the podcast at least once, if you haven't read Cruel Summer, you really should, because it's basically I've revamped the episodes page, and it is now listed as an episode, even though it's not an episode, but it is quintessential enough that I'm like, people should read it. So
Definitely. I will say we have been ranking the episodes on this podcast, and as anyone listening to all of them will have remembered, that 102 is my least fave.
yes.
And I don't know if I want to share my top one, because we're going to
Maddie, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. Since we are on our podcast, we ranked them, and we're kind of revealing as we go through each episode where it ranks on our ranker. Perhaps Maddie and I will refrain from saying what our number 1 was until we arrive at those episodes. So
That's fair.
there are many favorites though, but we each definitely have our own to talk about when we talk about it, when we get there. So, but yes, 102, thumbs down. And I feel comfortable saying that as the person who wrote it. All right, we're gonna do next couple of questions. We're gonna do it kind of speed round style. So
Jesus.
Get in your vibe, get in your mode. Which performance do you most wish you could see?
The Abbott Dream
Showdown.
sequence.
The rewrite
Okay,
the
that's a good
stars.
Also a good one.
The free verse by Lucas James Pryor. Making me nervous.
And Ellie, I don't think I caught yours. What was yours?
Showdown.
Yes,
Finals.
yes. That's a good one. It's like kind of 3, but it's like 1, so it counts.
Yeah. No,
Nice.
it counts as 1. Yeah.
All right, next, which character do you see yourself in the most?
Fuck you.
See, I couldn't answer this one because I was like, I see parts of myself in like multiple characters. So Dylan, Riley, Lucas, Charlie. Those are like the main ones I see myself in. So do what you will with that information.
Very nice, very nice.
I was gonna say Riley and Issa.
Yes, you are the INTJ of our group, without a doubt, just like Issa.
Yeah, I'd say Riley and Charlie, probably.
In the crickets while we wait for Emma.
This is like private information that only the government can know. I don't know. This is. Yeah.
Okay, we know.
Okay. Sure.
You can say it for me, but I'm not saying out loud because I can't be incriminated in the court of law. So you can make your conjectures.
Emma's primary answer is Charlie, and the secondary answer is Farkle.
That's what people allege. I can't speak on it.
And my answers would be Zay, Maya, Asher, and then more recently, Josh is a very big one for me as well.
Ooh.
Josh.
So hopefully get to see more of him very soon.
Yes.
Okay. Now these are some of the ones that I think I wrote that are secret. So let me do the last one that was not a secret, which is what are your top scenes for your OTP, your fave pairing?
Yeah.
This is just asking for tears.
This was hard, but I did. I think I actually wrote I cannot possibly choose, but then I also wrote the car scene in 208 between Riley and Lucas is historically significant. Also, the time that they held hands in the back of the car after the gala in the first season.
Oh, good one.
Yes, and also the time that Riley taught Lucas to dance. It was very cute.
Those are good ones. A handhold, a choice handhold is very RL significant. So
Very, very much so.
Also holding hands in the back of the car, Taylor Swift quote.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Let's go.
Squeeze your hand.
I have to say, God, there's just so many. Tonight on the balcony, Rewrite the Stars. Also the the dance outside in the parking lot. Also just at the end of season 3. Sorry, I'm losing it. Someone else go.
we could just keep going. I think we're pretty actually evenly split. I'm realizing I think we have 2 RLs and 2 ZCs in here. So, and then I'm like both. So.
Oh, okay. I have a lot that I wrote down, so I'm gonna be kind of fast. So
Do
pick
it.
up this. You guys have to listen. So the world will never be the same. So when they're dancing and they have their first kiss, and then they're in the back of the Jack's car and they hold each other's hands. Okay, that is beautiful. Then Black, the Colors of Techie Scorned. It's when Lucas doesn't want to hit Riley with the paint balloon, so he loses the game. And then when Riley's like, they look up to you and like you inspire them, and he's like, wow. And then Jolly Holiday Part 2. Well, you know, that beautiful scene. Then these boots are made for dancing. The whole scene where Lucas is teaching Riley how to do the lights up in the booth, and like there's a lot of cute moments in that episode, but whatever. And then Trapped, when he's like, we weren't bad, were we? And Riley's like, no, we were good. And then and Got a Lot of Living to Do. Okay, when Riley calls Lucas to pick her up from the party, and they're still not like, you know, friendly like they were in the season 1, and then he's like, I will be there for you. Anyways, that was beautiful. And then he holds her hand. Okay, it was very hesitantly, like they held hands. Like, beautiful.
Yeah.
Then We'll Be the Stars. Riley leaves prom to go to where Lucas is at. Okay, they have their foreheads together. Beautiful. And he still has the gala shawl, so that's still like incredible. Final run. when Riley runs to Lucas's rescue and any way possible by like being, I can leave, and then she forms a protest for Lucas. Okay, whatever. Then the sun will rise. Lucas and Riley are sleeping together, like on the bed, like not doing anything weird, and he has his arm around her. And then party favors. Lucas gives Riley the necklace with the letter L on it. It was beautiful. The comfort zone. Them making out hardcore in the booth before being interrupted by Jack. Nature of the beast. The catwalk scene where Lucas shows it to her. Beautiful, whatever. Then winds of change. When Riley and Lucas have their fight. And then Lucas tells her what happened to him and what Missy did to him. And then she's supporting him and is there with him. And then the performance. You Matter to Me. That entire thing is beautiful. And then Dylan and Asher, Riley slapping Missy's face.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Hopefully
This is a comprehensive rundown.
Amazing.
And that's not even like all of it. Like I couldn't think of.
That's the surface.
I had to stop. Okay.
Wonderful. It was lovely. All right, Emma, take us home.
My favorite Garminkus moment is when they clean when Farkle cleans Asher's shoes.
Talking about.
wait. Wasn't it when they like when when Farkle and Issa were like pranking everyone?
Yes. We didn't see him return his shoes. That was not in the show.
But he wait, hold on.
Girl, I'm about to cut you off.
No, wait, hold on. I saw. Wait. Where is it? I just had it. Okay, whatever. You know, I do think. Okay, well, obviously, Rewrite the Stars, and I think the season 3 finale. There's many others. Oh, tonight, that's all I have tonight. That one is good too. Yeah. I literally had the the shoe thing.
Isn't it
But
that he steals his shoe? Like he doesn't do anything else to it.
But that says something. No, hold on.
No,
go keep talking.
I know what you're talking about. I think doesn't he come to his defense or something like that?
What?
No, what Emma is thinking about is that when they did the tap shoe prank where they put taps on everybody's shoes, they stole Asher's Oxfords by like making up something about they spilled paint in the prop loft, so Asher had to take off his shoes so he wouldn't get paint on them, and Farkle and Issa stole them so they could put taps on them, and then in theoretically they fix them and return them so that they don't actually ruin Asher's shoes. And so Emma is conflating.
Yes, because thank you, Maggie.
Asher's shoes to give them back.
As the person who plants all of these clues for us who understand the true plot of the show, was that he understands that his shoes are very important to him, and so he didn't destruct his personal property too much. Which shows their bonds.
Everyone knows that Ash's shoes are important to him because he has probably like yelled about it.
It's because he's a freak. It's the reason. And I love
and so is Farkle, so soulmates. Boom.
Anyway, I will give just a couple quick answers just off the top of my head, which that's very hard for me to do because the entire encyclopedia of the show exists in my head. But for RL, I will say favorite scenes off the top of my head. I will do an emo one. I would actually have to say is the fight that they had in 401. I think it is very, as I said, very juicy, very telling, very je ne sais quoi. There's a lot to unpack there. And then for fun, I would say, I don't know, man, they're just always cute. I always be coming back to the pastry just because I think it's a very physical manifestation of the way that Lucas is thoughtful about certain things, but also just everything about them. And then Zay and Charlie, I will say what comes to mind for me first in a less light. The one always comes to mind first is lighthearted, so I'll save it. But the one that's more kind of emotional, I would say, is in the finale, the scene in the dance studio. This is the last time they're both in the dance studio together, and they like almost kiss, and there's that big tension moment, and then Zay pulls away because it's good for him to pull away. They have to pull away right now. So there's that. But then the one that I always think of all the time, first time I think of Zay and Charlie, is when in 311, when Charlie's gonna give back the sweaters to Zay, but the first thing that he says is Zay's having fries, and he says, "Oh, fries sounds like my kind of guy," and then there's this very awkward moment, and he goes, "I mean, my kind of night." Yeah, and Zay's like, "Yeah, I think about that line all the time because I think it's stupid funny. So
can I add two?
Yes, go ahead.
Because I annoyed everyone with that, I'll give. Okay, one for Riley and Lucas is when Lucas tells Riley about what happened with Missy. I just think like that's one of my favorite scenes in the whole show, which is very hard, but like I think it was just perfectly done, and it made me cry. And also when Charlie is leaving Adams and he sings or he mouths or whatever, "I love you," but it's not really like that ooh. Yeah.
Ooh, child.
So
yes, it was implied, but he still had not said it. So when will he? We don't know.
He still hasn't.
See it? I don't know. So yeah, okay. Next question. So this is we're getting to the section where I wrote questions that you guys have not seen.
Jeez.
To me.
So the first one, wait, actually we have one more. I'm so sorry, I almost skipped it. And Emma, you're perfect for this. Do you guys have any crack ships?
Well, I mean, to me it is real, but no.
Okay.
Well, okay. Farkle and Asher started off as a little jokey joke, and it still is, but it's just so funny to me when I see it. And if you have not checked, did I make it the actual thing? Hold on.
Are you talking about the blog?
Yeah, it's up. I'm pretty sure it's up because didn't we linked it in one of our episodes?
Yeah, garminkus.tumblr.com.
Iconic.
Look it up, and
Follow.
maybe it'll be converted too. I like Lucas and Charlie. I don't know if that's really crack shit though. But
I mean, at this point, I think, because what they had mentioned as examples was, like, they gave Riley and Yindra and Lucas and Asher. So it's not necessarily, like, totally crazy, like Garmegas, but just ones that are not necessarily, like, gonna be featured on the show in that way, but, like, ones that you very much are interested in. Like, Emma, I think you could say Chandon as well, and that would be
okay, yeah.
a good answer.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me, because I got distracted with Garmegas, but yes. Brandon and Charlie, listen. The bitches who love fucked up relationships, the people who like dark academia, I'm just saying look at it. I'm not saying would it be good? No. But like would it be good? Yes.
Would it be juicy?
Exactly. I'm just saying he was very obsessed. And I think there's things that you could do or say or look into there, and I think they have an interesting dynamic, and I do believe that strongly. So, and I think I'm one of two maybe people who believe that. Everyone else did not like when I said that, but I'm just saying consider it. When you have like Love Club. That was an iconic performance. That's another one I would want to see, actually, to be honest, because I was waiting for that one. But I just think, like, if you have a rivalry with someone, you're that obsessed with someone, there's something else underneath there, is what I'm gonna say.
Fair enough. Anybody else?
I don't have any crack ships.
I'd say mine is like Yindra and Riley. Because they like literally hit it off like straight away. We know that they both would if situations had been different. So yeah, I definitely support it, and I don't know, maybe it could happen. We'll see.
Actually, you know what? I think would be interesting. It's literally just me talking for like 20 minutes about this. One thing, even if it's just a platonic relationship that I would want to see more of, is Charlie and Nigel, because they're both Shakespeare nerds and literature nerds. So I feel like I don't know in that way, but I'm just saying they don't really interact that much like they do, and they're kind of on each other's like orbit. But I would just want to see more of that dynamic. But that's just me being a nerd.
Fair enough. My answer, I think I would say, would be Lucas and Dylan. And I'm not gonna too deeply explain myself, but I just think that they have a very special relationship. And I think that Dylan gets away with more with Lucas than probably anybody else, with maybe the exception of Dave, except the relationship between Dylan and Lucas is deeper than the relationship between Dave and Lucas.
I see it.
That's interesting.
I see the vision.
Okay. Also,
And that can also... Never mind, I was going to be annoying you. Go.
No, I know you can go. I want to hear what you say.
I was just going to say, then you could have Garminkus and...
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, I lied because I remember that Emma said Larly, Charlie and Lucas. I enjoy them. Like, if they happen, like, would I be sad about RL and ZC? Yeah, but I don't know. Ever since Freefall, there's something in my brain.
Yes, Freefall, for those who don't know, is a alternate universe for Ambition that I wrote that is kind of like Lost meets the Wilds, where there are a bunch of vagabond children who are on this retreat to be fixed, essentially, and they crash on an island. And so that has a very central Lucas and Charlie rivalry in the first season and moving onward. So someday Maddie and I are going to have our AU episode and we'll talk maybe a little more about that. But yeah, that kind of did something to Hanny and she hasn't recovered since. So
you will see when they get to it.
Ellie, do you have any crack ships?
No, I don't really. I feel like you know this about me, Maggie, but I just kind of I just take what I'm given and I'm happy with it.
That's good. We need more people like that in the world, so...
Excuse me?
Okay, so now we have entered the section that is questions that I wrote. So, this one is actually a question that Maddie and I brought up during a podcast one time, and we were like, oh, we'll come back to this, and then we never answered it. So, you're building a heist team.
Oh.
Which three members of the A class do you choose to join your heist team, and why?
Okay. Lucas is one. Two. Just for the hell of it, Dave. I feel like he would be funny. And he would be like, he would be the underdog. You wouldn't think he would do much, but he would do a lot, I think. He would be good distraction, personally. And then third, why not? Let's put Charlie up in that bitch. Just because.
Because you need someone to freak out?
I would like to see him struggle.
I would definitely choose Farkle for the money.
Oh, good.
Heists often have like costs involved, and definitely Lucas because he's the closest to
criminal.
Like a criminal. He knows his stuff. Also, maybe Maya. She's a bit of an evil mastermind and efficient.
Good answers.
I think everyone's making really good points, and I very much have to support Farkle, not only because of the money, but also because he is a literal genius. Lucas, even though that team up would be questionable. Issa, because they're just a mastermind of all things.
True.
And how many people are we allowed? Because what if I just choose everyone? Just kidding.
I said 3, so you hit 3.
Okay.
I'll say it. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go.
No, go, Emma.
Okay.
I'm forcing you.
Here, okay. I've thought about this right now. Okay. Lucas, one, okay, like everyone said, he has experience. He can take cars. He is not going to get caught up in a moral quandary about it. Like, he's going to be, okay, let's go. And I think he can be a good leader if he cares about it, which he's going to care about it. And he'll get shit done. And he can be the tough guy if we need it. Dylan, he is a gymnast. He can do all those things. He's a dancer. He's flexible. He also has like an imaginative mind about things that can have that approach. He works well with Lucas. He again is down to clown. So I think he'd be fine with it. And like, you know, if you need like a fun, charming person to like do some sneaky stuff or whatever, I think he would be good. Like, even if people are like, wait, what's up with him? Like, I feel like people generally vibe with Dylan and that he could like be a good distraction if needed. Farkle. Again, because he has money to go with it. Like Maddi said, he's smart. Third, he's an actor. So again, if I need like distractions, he can act. 4, again, he assisted in the like beating up of Missy's car or whatever. So again, he's down. Like, I have people who are down for this. And I honestly, okay, I forget who said, but I think it was Maddi who said, oh, Lucas and Farkle wouldn't be a good team up. But if I want crazy shit to go down, remember in the first episode of season 3 where they were like setting off fireworks and they were like going like, I don't know, if I need destruction, I feel like they can all fuel each other. But, you know, again, maybe it's a little, but I think, you know, I feel like they've come to respect each other more. I think everyone there respects each other a little more. Like, you know, when Farkle says that fucking like back of the thesaurus word, like the, you know, no one can compare to Lucas. I forget what it was, but the like inevitable, non-imperial. Anyways, him, yeah. So so that's my team. And I guess I'm there too. I guess I have to consider about who I would work well with, but I think I could work well with any of them, and I think we could like brainstorm some things. Yeah,
That's good. I obviously also would pick Lucas. I think he's the obvious answer to this question because he basically has done heist-like things in the show. And I will say we're going to have maybe another slightly heist-like episode in season 4 with maybe some patterns that we have already seen. So maybe one person who's talked so far was not wrong to include someone in their list.
What?
But I would pick Lucas. I would also pick Jade because I think I mentioned her when I first posed this question. I think it was during 102 when we were complaining about things. But when the techies are like doing all the scheming behind the scenes and then Zay's trying to like talk to them and be like, what's going on? Like, Dave cracks under pressure so easily, but Jade is like so unruffled. Like, she's just like, what do you mean? Like, I'm fine. What, you fine? So I think she's very good under pressure. She could sew some like really cool stuff into our outfits so we could like be ready, be prepared. She does not take shit, so like she be ready. And then my third person is Riley, because I think if we need a leader, she is the go-to person. We've seen her be sneaky. She stole Lucas's switchblade right out of his pocket and then put it back in his pocket without him ever realizing. And if you can convince her that it's for the greater good, like, she will do it. So she would be our leader, and obviously Lucas listens to everything she says, so wouldn't have any problems with him. But I will say, if I was going to just go slightly out of the A class, I would consider, provided we could sign a contract beforehand that everybody would get what they need, putting Brandon on my team because he is insanely evil and a genius. So if I needed to get this shit done and I could get him on contract, I'd add him.
Yep. I would agree.
That's a hot take.
So now we've answered that long-awaited question. I have 3 more questions. So the one that I wanted to bring back, actually maybe a 4th, I need to check this order. But Hanny kind of brought this up earlier because she mentioned the moment where Lucas stops the paint, doesn't throw the paint balloon, and so Riley, the performers, win because he fumbled that moment, but it's because he was maybe crushing. And since we have an even slate here, I wanted to ask, in season 1, episode 7, was ZC interrupting Arl's moment with the paint balloons by taking Lucas out wrong?
No, we and Emma already fought.
We literally almost killed each other over this.
Don't remind us of our trauma. But yes, they did interrupt the moment, and I think it's on the same wavelength as Maya interrupting ZC, and it was unnecessary. And was I mad? Yes, I was.
Yeah. Also because, I don't know, I was kind of on the techie side in that one. So they were wrong.
All right, we got 2 wrongs.
They were right. I don't care.
No, they weren't right. And you have to acknowledge this. Stop being so mean to me. Because you know that they interrupted my people. RL, it's not fair.
But it makes it more interesting because then you're like, oh, they don't, you see that moment, but it doesn't it gets taken away from you. But it's stored in your mind.
Funny enough that you say that, because you didn't think that when Maya interrupted ZC. You were like, oh my god, this bitch.
Well, because I don't fucking like her, so.
I
didn't like her then.
Okay, that's not fair, because I don't hate ZC. But this moment, they were on my shit list for a good second, okay? Anyways, Ellie? I know where you live.
No, I think you gotta live in the moment. It was a game.
He's like, please. But here's the thing, Henny. Maya pulled Riley away when Riley went back to wipe the paint off of Lucas. So she's the bad person in all of this. What I'm saying is that we should blame only Maya for everything.
We should just.
I think this is what happened last time. I said, why need to divert into Maya?
Emma distracted me, and it keeps working, so.
Well, I think we kind of ended on a tie there for that question. Third to last question. In a theoretical world where Ambition is a real airing show, which character do you think would be the most favored online, for better or for worse, and the most hated, fairly or otherwise?
I don't know. It depends on which part of the internet you're on.
True.
Yeah, I could see Riley getting hate, but then also, in a post-Heartstopper world, I don't know, maybe we're all being a bit kinder and, just loving people for being cute and nice.
Aww.
I wish. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I can imagine Riley getting some hate just because people tend to hate main characters, you know? And
especially nice main characters.
Yeah, Scott McCall vibes. She's a leader, she's kind, she wants to help, she's flawed, but she has, good intentions, so I don't see why people would hate her, but I just know that they probably would.
When Maddi was saying hold on, what? Cause she said something that to me it started reminding me of Sarah Bareilles' "She Used to Be Mine." She's like, she's imperfect, but she tries.
Yes. No, I actually, when I paused, I was thinking about that song.
Okay, good. I was like, this is reminding me of this song real quick.
Well, it's a Riley song, so
it is.
Love it.
I feel like Farkle would be one of the most like polarizing characters for sure. I think a lot of people would love him and some people would be annoying about it. And I think even though like I like him and I think there's the qualities that like people really can enjoy. I mean, he is one of the protagonists. He does have like a very tragic and complex arc and a character development, really like a rich character development. But also I can see people hating him, and I think sometimes, you know, some of it's warranted because he can be like a shit or whatever, but like I can also see people just like oversimplifying it and being like, oh, that like annoying white guy is like blah blah, and then like I don't know, I get it, but like I think it could go either way. And similarly, I think Lucas would be polarizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is
Perhaps
polarizing.
fairly so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like for both of them, it's like I can understand it, and I think part of it is like we are supposed to be somewhat conflicted or polarized about them, especially earlier on in the seasons, because they're kind of like I don't know exactly, like underdeveloped, not in the way of like they're not actually developed as characters, but like them, they have like a lot of growth to do and like understanding to do.
Yeah.
If you're on the hero's journey or whatever, then they're like little babies. They're not. They have a lot of shit to do.
Yes, and they have devolution arcs before they
Right.
have evolution arcs, which I also would group Charlie in that trio because he also, like, he's obviously on the surface like very, 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 very nice, but as Maddie and I are, you know, uncovering as we walk through Unpacked in season 1, like he's not smartly making these decisions, but he's consciously making decisions that put other people in a place they don't want to be, and he's doing it to be self-serving. And then even when he is making sacrificial moves in later seasons, he's still not doing it right, so it's kind of like upsetting things and making people upset. So yes, we have our trio of problematic white boys who are repressed and they struggle, and they would be polarizing for that reason. So yeah, totally. All right, second to last question. So this is about a series prediction, so thinking by the end of the show. Obviously the show involves a lot of exploration about art, fame, and career. Based on what we know now, which characters do you think will make it professionally by the series end?
Yindra, hello, sorry, hi, just, I'm Yindra's hype girl, and she is definitely going to make it. She's doing her time, working hard, paying her dues right now, but she is going to make it. That's my 100% belief. And I also believe that Jade will make it as a seamstress.
Yes.
Here.
I love that. I think the same. I also think Zay and Farkle. Yep, that's my thoughts. Because they just both love. They're just so passionate.
Emma, Jany, any thoughts?
I'm thinking. I think Zay. And I think Farkle to some extent. I don't know if he's like, I don't know. But I mean, he's doing okay right now, but that's the thing, is will he keep it? I'm rooting for Josh. Well, I mean, not that I'm saying I'm not rooting for anyone, but I feel like it'd be interesting to see like Maya I'm assuming Maya and Josh are going to kind of team up because, you know, Josh's person betrayed him. No, I was kidding. I understand. It's a good business move. Whatever. Anyways, but yeah, and unrelated, but like related, I think Charlie is going to be a teacher or something. That's my idea for him.
Interesting. I guess we'll have to see.
Yes, we
All
will.
right. we've come to the final question, and this is kind of a two-tiered question, but it's all going to be the same discussion. So, a year and a half ago, I asked a controversial question that prompted much debate in the group chat. If you had to sacrifice one of the main three pairings to not be endgame, which would you choose and why? Now, with season 3 finished and 4 on the go, I am reposing the same question. If you had to sacrifice one of the 3 main pairings to not be endgame, which would you choose and why? And bonus round, which are the 3 supporting pairings, Jade and Nigel, Jack and Eric, or Delaminkus, would you sacrifice?
Wow. You're evil. Why would you... We already... This is evil.
It's been almost 2 years since we've had this conversation.
Really?
A lot has happened since then.
I don't even remember.
The other day.
I think I'm going to keep the same answer that I had, which is Dylan and Asher. I'm sorry.
Wait, are Dylan and Asher one of the main 3?
Yes.
Well, because she said season 3, and they were, like, mains. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, like when I
probably...
mentioned earlier in the call, like we have our top trio, which is RL, ZC, and DA, just like throughout the whole series, like the way that we think about them. And then the supporting trio is Jade and Nigel, Jack and Eric, and Issa and Farkle.
I would sacrifice Issa and Farkle, sorry. They're not together now and they can just be friends and it's fine. Dylan and Asher, sorry, not sorry. The other 2 couples just rank higher, and that's just how it is.
I don't remember what I said last time.
That's okay. It's been a while. Things could change.
But I have to go with Dylan and Asher as well because I just don't care about them as much. I'm sorry. They're just not my faves. I love...
Listen, they have too much love.
Yeah, it's almost like...
Hanny, your Discord name right now is literally Dill Loves Birdbird.
Yeah.
And it's been that for like 3 years.
Wait, hold on a minute. Let's not bring in our names into this podcast, okay? I said what I said. They have been together since they were 13 or 14. Like, I think it's time that they go through some angst too, okay? That's it. They can have a second chance romance in like 20, 30 years, and that's it.
Well, maybe I'll have to reframe the question if everybody's going to take the easy way out.
Oh, God.
What?
Because the thing is, it's easy also to say this because they are literally not here right now. Like, they have been, they're guest stars now. They're comfortably removed from the situation. This was a much more complicated question 2 years ago when they were still much more featured. So, okay, I'll rephrase it. The bottom level is still the same. It's still, DLM, Jarek, Jigel.
Okay.
The top level, and remember, it's not that it's like they're dead. They're sacrificing them so they're dead. It's the question of if you had to sacrifice their end game, which one would you sacrifice? So now that is just RL versus CC.
Oh, so it's just those 2?
Yes, because all you all were making it way too easy and just picking Dasher because they're not here to look at you.
ZC, I'm sorry, they can leave. They already are broken up, so... I'm sorry.
I think also I would say ZC because I see them more capable to fall in love with other people. Like, don't come for me, but like they maybe have the capacity to love again, whereas I feel like if Lucas wasn't with Riley, he would be alone, and that's upsetting. So
I agree with her. I agree with Ellie.
Okay.
Emma, do you hate me?
No, I'm okay. Sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm not like I hate
you. Well, if you say RL, I will hate you.
Okay.
I'm joking. I love you.
Sure.
I don't know.
What was that silence, bitch?
I will say to grease the wheel a little bit off what Ellie said. I think that's a fair point of, if Riley and Lucas broke up, like, would Lucas love again? But I guess my question is it wrong to be on your own romantically? Yeah. Like, would it be the end of the world if Lucas did not have? not if he didn't have Riley, but if he wasn't, because he went on so long without that, and I think that where he gets love is obviously he gets a lot from Riley, and that we cannot discount that in his growth and in his life and his support system, but he also has gotten a lot of very meaningful love from platonic relationships and from the fatherly relationship he has with Jack. So I think personally, because he's demisexual and because of just the personality that he has, it's like I don't know that he necessarily needs romance the way that maybe it feels. I feel like, and this is not me advocating for either, I gave an answer 2 years ago, but I'm going to refrain from giving an answer in this situation since I know what happens in the show, and I don't want it to seem like I'm influencing what's going to happen in the show by answering. But I think that Lucas, in that sense, could be single and could be fine with that, and it wouldn't affect him. Whereas I think in terms of Zay and Charlie, my perception, both of them really want that in their life and really want that as a very substantial part of their future. And that's not to say, like Ellie said, that could be with other people, but I think that the idea of like Lucas being alone being a problem is not necessarily a problem.
I agree. So I was trying to see what I had said last time, because I was like, I think I'll agree with what I said. I just wanted to see what I said. And I said sacrifice Riley and Lucas, and not because I'm more into Zay and Charlie, although I'm sure that has something to do with my bias, but I really do like Riley and Lucas, I think. But I agree that I think they definitely bring out the better in each other, and they have a good relationship, but I also think they would be okay being apart from each other. And I think that I can see issues in their relationship, again, not that they can't overcome it, but I think both of them really have predisposed or whatever, I don't know the word I'm saying. Basically, they both have like conceptions of romance and love that are quite damaged because of their parental upbringing and the love they've seen around them. And not to say that you can't ever have that love or whatever, but I do think it's very different. Like what Maggie said is that they don't necessarily need romantic love. I think they like their big thing is platonic and just like partnership. And I think they would maybe be more okay. I think Lucas would like, I mean, obviously, I don't want them to break up, and I don't think it would be like an easy thing to deal with or whatever, but I think Lucas would be okay alone, and I think Riley could, be with other people. I just don't know if I ever see Charlie being so vulnerable or comfortable with anyone else. And I also think Zay is such a Leo, and he wants someone who's like obsessed with him, and I don't know who else can be obsessed with him but Charlie. And I think like Maggie said, I think they're both very like romance characters, in that passion and romance are big for them and in their relationships. And yeah, I don't know. That's what I would say. You guys can kill me now or whatever.
I love how long the explanation was. It was like, you're really gonna justify it, and now I'm gonna come in with like a really neutral, like you guys know that I like tragic romances. And I'm not an advocate, but I'm not not an advocate for like killing off love interests. But I'm not saying that that's what should happen, but I'm also saying like I can see the storytelling benefits to either of these couples. Initially I definitely saw Ellie meant in that Zay and Charlie could fall in love with other people because they're both loving and open, but like so is like a lot of people in the show. And I definitely see what Emma's saying, and I definitely agree with Maggie, and that people being alone is fine. So I'm gonna say Riley and Lucas just because I do love Zay and Charlie more.
I think Maddie's saying break them all up. It doesn't matter.
No,
Everybody's
I
single
vote
at the end of the show.
yes, that is the agenda, y'all.
And then what was the other thing? It was the
the supporting trios. So sacrificing Jade and Nigel, Jack and Eric, or Issa and Farkle.
I would do Issa and Farkle. I love them so, so, so much. But also I love, again, they're both like kind of tragic figures. And I think it would work if they didn't end up together. They're both very passionate about what they do. And I can see them being absorbed by that and not being sad necessarily. And they get a lot of support from their platonic relationships. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I agree. Also, I'm extremely biased, and yeah.
Yes, Ellie's photo in Discord right now is literally Jack and Eric. So, and their name, Ellie's name is Jigel Fan Club President. So there you go.
Yeah, unsurprised.
I think, one, Jack and Eric, so I can be with Jack, but I won't do that. I would, like, I'm sorry, but yeah, probably Dale and Minkus. I do enjoy aspects of their story, but also sometimes I just get angry. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. I think they both definitely have a lot of like personal growth to go through, which is not to say that the other relationships did not have to have a lot of personal growth to go through. But I'm just personally less invested in them as a romantic relationship. Sorry to Sunny, but
Pour one out. Hanny?
Yeah, I agree with the rest of the people. It would have to be Issa and Farkle. I prefer, I don't have anything against them together romantically, but it's just, we're in season 4, they're already great friends, they should just stay friends. And that's how I feel.
And maybe they will. Maybe they will never become romantic. We don't know.
That's true.
Wow.
Maybe this is where the tragedy comes in.
It's like Ender's Game or something. Oh God, I'm so annoying. But like, like where it's like you think is just a meaning, like innocuous thought exercise, but we just decided the fate of the show.
No,
Don't say that. Don't say
I can see. I should have prefaced with that. I was gonna.
I'm just
preface with,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
That this conversation does not influence anything. We have already. I know this may seem hard to believe because so many TV shows do not do this, but we have outlined all 5 seasons. We know where the characters end. We are just slowly working towards that ending. So those things have been decided. It's just when we see them, well, we're gonna find out.
Yep. We shall.
And with that, we can bring it to a close. This has now been at least like 2 hours, so I'm sure there's plenty for people to enjoy. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our panel, our round table, for coming together on very short notice. We kind of just threw together this idea in like 2 days and then made it happen, so that was very fun. We also will definitely have to do this again at some point. Maybe we'll do it end of season 4. We can have some recap fun. I also just wanted to say to you guys and also to the listeners, thank you, of course, for reading and for being so invested in the show. It's very special to Esther and I that people care so much, and also that you are so patient, because we know the wait to season 4 was very long. And now there's a little bit of wait again, and each episode has a longer wait time because the episodes are really long. But it really means a lot to us that you guys are so invested and that you really want to see what happens. And we are excited to share the story with you. With that, I remembered that I actually have one more final question for me that I was going to leave to the end, which is, what storyline am I most excited to share in season 4? With a maximum of 3 answers. So thank you, Pearl, for giving me a maximum. This is hard to say because there's just so much to come. But I will say one storyline that I am very excited to explore is Lucas and his relationship with his family. Like, in general, the way that obviously we're going to have to see him confront more of that, because with Kenneth's illness and just being around more with Grace and Kenneth, I think we're going to get to explore so much more of what that actual family dynamic is like, and the way that it affects all of the people in that trio, in that triangle of people. And I think it's going to be very, very interesting and really fun to, not fun maybe, but like very interesting in a sociological, psychological character way to really explore that and kind of see over the course of the season, kind of peel that back and see the way that it has, we know it's affected Lucas, but I think this is now really the time, if we have to face it, where we're really going to start to see like how much this has impacted Lucas and shaped who he is and formed some of his, you know, I think greatest challenges in his life. So I'm very, very excited about that over the course of the season. I'm very excited about the Josh introduction, and I'm really excited to explore that, the world of Hollywood through him, and in connection to the other characters that are in LA right now. I think maybe this is a bit obvious, and I'm sure Emma was right to hint at it, that I'm sure people can expect there will be interaction between Josh and Maya, and what that interaction is like, of course, remains to be seen, but that is something else that I'm very excited about to share and to explore. Again, because Josh is very relatable to me, so I'm excited to get to share more of him and what he's going through. And then last storyline that I'm really excited for, again, there's like so much, like I want to say something for everybody, but I will say not necessarily a storyline, but kind of a theme that I'm really excited for, in particularly for 2 different relationships.
Oh my god.
Is the idea of right timing, and when are things meant to be, when are things meant to fall into place, will they fall into place, and if there's a moment to say something or to articulate something, can there be a wrong moment for that, and B, kind of what we've been talking about this whole time of like, do things work out, you know, if they're meant to be. And it's applicable to a lot of characters just generally, about, you know, again, everything's about change this season and we're all entering new situations, but with these 2 relationships kind of in inverse ways, in a way, I think that there's some really big exploration of that this season, and I'm very, very, very excited to go through all of that. So those will be my answers for now. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Again, thank you, panel, for joining us, and this has been a very fun crossover episode. So yes. Anybody have anything else they want to say before we cut it off?
Love you guys. Subscribe to A Cup of Ambition. Sponsor us.
I always say, Maddi, what say you?
And then I say something really lame usually.
No, not true.
I hope everyone has a good rest of their weekend, and that you're enjoying whatever weather you have in wherever you are, and that you can be cozy no matter what, and peaceful and soft.
Lovely. Emma, do you have anything you want to say?
Not.
I
hope that everyone. I hope that everyone enjoys Josh this season, and streams his songs.
Perfect. And with that, Ellie has just left because she had to jump off, but we were very excited to have her. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
And with that, we hope you enjoyed this and it was fun and we're feeling our Ambition Warrior energy. So, as we say, welcome to Adams. This is it. I don't know if you guys at Cup of Ambition have a sign off.
Emma?
It's keep your peepers peeled. So
Oh, that's very applicable, yes.
Yeah.
In a, I guess, an analytical way, and for whenever the next installment comes out.
Ooh.
Very
of
nice.
the
That's a
show.
good one. Keep your peepers peeled, and we will see you in Ambition World at the end of June with 402. I swear to God. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.